Time for that time when we talk to our special guest. Tonight our special guest is Yvonne Sanders. Yvonne is an Auckland antique dealer with a beautiful new book called Antiques in the Antipodes. How did this book come about? Well, we find out tonight and give two of our lucky viewers a chance to win a copy. Yvonne Sanders, welcome to The Beat Goes On.
Oh, thank you.
Wonderful to have you in the studio, and wonderful to have your fabulous book in the studio. This is a pretty big book, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
It must have taken a lot of time.
It actually weighs just under 2 kilos.
2 kilos. Mm-hmm. Gosh. That means this book's weighed 14 times. That's how overweight I am.
Oh, I see.
Don't bring that up, Yvonne.
No.
So it's called Antiques in the Antipodes.
That's right, yes.
Antipodes, for all our wonderful viewers, that's actually New Zealand or Australia combined. Is it Antipodes just New Zealand? Or?
Well, no, the Antipodes refers to a far-flung place. We're as far away from Europe as is possible to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yvonne, you put this all together. It's beautiful.
I did.
Oh, and you say it's a coffee table book.
Yes, it is.
I mean,
yes.
The presentation is superb. I mean, just page after page of beautiful pictures. And you had a wonderful photographer.
Yes, well, Tessa Crisp was Photographer of the Year in 2011. Yeah. And she certainly did justice to the book.
Now,
yes.
Antiques. We're going to look at antiques. They say that somebody's junk is somebody's antiques, don't they?
Well, yes, that's true. Yes.
What made you fascinated by antiques? What got you into it?
Well, I was top in history at school.
Yeah.
And I didn't see an antique till I was about 8 years old. And I used to visit with my father an older lady who had English antique furniture. And it was all lovingly polished. She used to wax it regularly, and I loved the patina. And I never forgot.
Patina?
Yes, that's right.
Oh, explain that word. That's
Well, that's the finish that old timbers get with a bit of TLC.
Then you're 8 years old, and that attracted you.
Yes, and later on, my first landlady was at Epsom. And she had antique furniture, and whenever the family went on holiday, she asked me to move in and house sit. And I discovered that I much preferred her furniture to my own.
Wow.
And so that was another introduction.
Now, talking about antiques, I'm an antique, I'm a baby boomer.
Oh, right, yes, I think we all are.
Are you a baby boomer?
Definitely.
What wonderful year did you come onto the earth?
1940.
1940?
Yes,
wow.
Yes.
Gosh.
Fancy announcing that on national television.
I think you caused the Second World War, did you, Yvonne?
Yes, well, the war had started when I came along.
It wasn't your fault.
No, it was not. No.
Now, whereabouts in New Zealand did you grow up?
I grew up mainly in the Bay of Plenty.
Bay of Plenty?
In Tauranga.
Yeah.
Yes. And
how did you get to Auckland, to live in Auckland?
Well, when I was a preschooler, we did live at Onehunga for about 2 or 3 years. Then after my baby brother died, the family decided on a geographical change and we went to Tauranga.
How did your baby brother die? What happened?
He got cancer at an early age.
Oh, what age?
2 years, 3 months, yes.
That's terrible.
That was very...
I've never heard of babies getting...
No, very unusual in those days.
That must have devastated the family.
Oh, it did. Yes, yes.
Oh, just pause there a minute, because, you know, when I think of my boy, if something had happened to him at 2 years old, it would have been devastating.
Well, that's right, yes.
So how did your parents take that?
Very badly.
Yeah.
Yes, very badly. But anyway, we moved off to Tauranga, and my father developed a poultry farm down there, and his hobby was cabinet making. So
polished wood comes into it.
Taught me all about timbers.
Yeah.
Yes. He wasn't into antiques, but he was into fine furniture.
What's your favourite wood?
Oh, walnut.
Walnut?
Yes.
Yeah, it's beautiful,
yes,
isn't it?
love walnut.
Yeah, now, where's most of the walnut grown in the world?
Oh, well, it's grown in a number of countries.
Lebanon?
We think immediately of England.
Yeah.
Yes, Yes, I don't know about Lebanon. I haven't been there.
Now, you got married, of course, had children.
I did.
Then you decided, I'm going to own a shop. Now, what's the true story? That was my story. What's your story? How did it all happen?
Well, I actually didn't think I'd need to work, Gerard.
You're a kept woman, were you?
I was.
Yvonne?
And my husband became ill.
Yeah.
And we were living way down in the Bay of Plenty in a potiki. And after it didn't seem like he was going to begin earning anytime soon, I decided that I couldn't teach because there weren't enough jobs down there. So I'd be an antique dealer. And so
Just like that?
opened...
Or you'd been thinking about it for years?
No, I hadn't.
No?
I thought, well,
What do I love
that's
most
what I'll do.
Yeah, so you had to open your first shop.
Yes,
Here.
yes. I opened it in the front room of the house. Fortunately, the house was on the main road.
Yeah.
And I just put a shingle out saying antiques. And some of those people that called in those early days, and we're talking now about 46 years ago,
40.
they're still my customers at Epsom today.
Wow.
Yes. So we go back a long way.
So when did you get to Auckland and open your shop currently in Epsom?
1972.
1972?
Yes. I opened the first shop
Yeah.
at the end of the year, the day that my second son went to school. When he turned 5, I opened the shop.
Now, you've got a wonderful practiced eye, can't you? You can walk into any house that's being demolished and your eye can spot something of value, can't you?
Yes. Well, I've always been able to see the potential in things.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't. In fact,
Yes, they can't. It's just junk to them, isn't it? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. My mother used to say, I can't understand it. You go into a second-hand dealer's shop and come out with something important. She said, it just seems like a lot of rubbish to me.
Yeah.
Yes. But, oh well, we're all different.
And how much does most of it come to you now after 46 years, or do you still do you go looking for antiques?
For many years, of course, I imported. I began importing in 1985, and I imported solidly for 30 years. But the last couple of years, all my older customers are downsizing or going into retirement villages, and it's all coming back to me.
Wow.
Yes, an enormous volume of stock is offered every week.
Yeah. See, I never thought that would happen. That's
No.
We've unearthed a trend here. Well, as the baby boomers are downsizing, whatever antiques they did have are now coming back.
Yes, and you know, a lot of items I've now sold 3 times.
Wow.
Yes.
Now, what about your practiced eye, being able to see a fake antique? Can you see somebody in Indonesia runs up, see, there's say a beautiful chair here at the front.
Yes.
But somebody could try and replicate that or duplicate it. Can your eye spot that?
I can spot a fake very, very
Don't look at me,
easily.
Yvonne.
Yes, no, I can spot a fake.
You can see it immediately, can you?
Yes, I can.
You've got all the secrets. Yeah.
It always surprises people.
What is the most expensive item that you've sold in your shop that you've gasped with disbelief that somebody is, because it's not an auction. You don't have auctions.
No, we don't. I think the most expensive thing was $22,500.
$22,500.
And it was an amazing cabinet, a French cabinet that came from Egypt, and it was heavily carved. Wow. And it was a spectacular piece. We had to wait quite a while, you know, to find the right buyer. Yeah. Yes.
What's your biggest find going through junk shops, going through old homes, what's your biggest thing that you've spotted?
Dear.
Haven't spotted a Van Gogh yet.
Not yet, I'm still waiting. I remember once someone brought me a box of items and they didn't look very interesting. So I just set it aside, and some months later I thought I really must clear out that box. And when I got down to the bottom, I found one of the earliest decanters. It was from 1740. Wow. And there it had been lying there. It wasn't chipped or broken. So anyway, I kept that one. Good
condition?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes, a nice etching on the side. So I kept that one. I've still got it even
What
today.
would that be worth today?
Well, probably no more than 600 or 700, but it's just that it's unique and they don't turn up.
What is your description of an antique? What is it? What does it have
Well,
to be an antique?
It must be 100 years old.
At least 100 years
Yes.
old.
So now anything...
I'm nearly there.
Yes, yes. We're all going that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's all. It has to be 100 years
Must
old.
be 100 years old.
And it's an antique.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that's right.
Now, Yvonne, here you are. You're a wonderful antique dealer. You're in Epsom. We'll talk about where the address is. But you decided, I'm going to put all my knowledge into a beautiful book. Where did that idea come from?
Well, I had a close friend who was recently bereaved, and she was living rather remotely in the bush at Muriwai. And after the funeral, she said to me, "Promise you won't leave me alone." And I said, "Well, Angela, what on earth do you mean?" She said, "Oh, you'll have to come and live with me." And I said, "Oh, I couldn't do that. I couldn't get to work.
Yeah.
But I'll come each weekend." So the first few weekends, she was not herself. So I tried to cheer her up with funny stories about the antique trade. And she kept saying after 3 or 4 weeks, "You must write a book. You've got to write a book." And I used to think how foolish Angela was. She didn't realise about my busy life. And anyway, one day after about a year, I didn't go out there, and I was at home and I was thinking about Angela and how silly she was. How could I possibly write a book? And then I suddenly remembered Sir Peter Blake's words, "The hardest part of any task is getting started."
It is, isn't it? You are so right.
Yes, so I sat there thinking, well, what would I write if I was going to write something? And I thought, I can't start writing. The office looks like a tip. And then I decided I'll go into that office. I won't look to left or right. I'll just sit at the desk and I'll write out some chapter headings. And I sat there for a couple of hours.
This is longhand?
Yes.
Or a word processor?
No, everything by hand.
Everything by hand,
And
yep.
I wrote the chapter headings that are in the book.
Yep.
And as it got a bit later, I really didn't want to stop. I was quite interested in it, this new project. And I thought, well, I think I better make dinner, but in the morning I'll get up at 6 o'clock before I forget all these things, and I'll jot some more down. And the next morning I was absolutely hooked. I didn't really want to go to work, but I had to. So
And the brain was whirling.
it was,
Yeah.
it was. And I decided that I wanted it to be a sort of social history of the last 40 years or so. And I wanted to record what all these amazing people have done with their antiques. So, and I didn't want it just to be an Auckland book because we've got customers all over the country. So in the book, there's people from as far north as Kawakawa and as far south as Queenstown.
That's
The
amazing.
customers come from all over.
And I suppose you got to a stage, I've got to stop, I'm writing so much.
Well, yes,
I've got
that's
to
right.
See, hard to get started, but hard to
Yes,
stop sometimes.
and I had no knowledge of publishing whatsoever, but I decided that I would self-publish and give the profits to Orphans Aid International.
Oh, that's very nice.
That's just a small charity down at, Sue Van Schraven runs it from Queenstown. She started a little orphanage about 11 or 12 years ago in Romania by selling her own home, which is in Invercargill. And I had seen a documentary about her about 4 years previously, and I had thought at the time, one day when I retire I'll work for that charity. And when I was deciding to do the book, I thought, well, why wait? I could start now.
Giving it a chance.
Yes, so I self-published. That was a learning curve.
Now, what would it cost our viewers to buy this book?
$69.99.
$69.99.
Yes.
Why did you pick that price? Below 70.
Yes, yes, that's right. Well, being a retailer from way back.
Very retailer, yeah.
Yes.
So if our viewers purchase this book, they're donating to a charity. That's wonderful.
Yes, yes.
Well, what about if we gave 2 of these copies away?
Well, that's a good idea.
Wouldn't that be lovely?
Yes, yes, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah. Now,
Yes.
but we need a very intelligent question.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to email jared@thebeatgoeson.co.nz. But we're going to, the question is, where is your shop, or the store?
Well, we're on the airport route.
Yeah.
We're at 474 Manukau Road, Epsom.
Right.
Yes.
Why don't we make that, where is the shop? It's at 474
Manukau Road,
Manukau Road.
Epsom.
That's the answer. We'll put it on the screen and people...
Yes. Oh, that would be good.
And wouldn't it be lovely if some of our viewers come in and said hello and
Oh, yes.
had a chat?
Love to meet them.
And bought some wonderful antiques priced at over $3 million?
Oh, not quite. No, we're not quite in that league.
And would you do it all again, Yvonne, if you...
Oh, absolutely. I've had the happiest
You've had a
life.
great life. Yeah.
Well, it's wonderful to work with something that you love.
Mm.
And while I was a teacher before, I've got to say that I was bewitched by the antique trade from day one.
And if a person was to take over your store, and then, and as the years go by, what would you expect? What do you want that person to portray as an owner of a fantastic shop?
My son and his wife will probably
take it over,
succeed me.
And he knows everything about antiques.
Yes, he's been in the business since he was 17.
Yeah.
And I'm quite sure that he'll follow my philosophy of business.
Yeah.
They've been well schooled, and I don't think there'll be any problems there.
And what's your average customer? Give us a description of your average customer.
Well, predictably, they've generally got a bit of disposable income, but we do deal with everybody, from those just starting out to a number of people who are really on the New Zealand rich list. We deal with everybody. And in the shop, there are, little inexpensive collectibles right through to very valuable antiques that might cost, $8,000 or $9,000.
Will they ever have a $2 antique store one day?
I doubt it. I doubt it very much. I don't think so.
Yvonne, we'll say it once again for our viewers. Email jared@thebeatgoeson.co.nz, and in the subject line put win 2 of these books, and your address, the shop, of course, it's 474 Manukau Road, on the way to the airport.
That's right.
I just want our viewers to come and say hi, have a little chat with you. I think you've got a wonderful store, and I'd like to say thank you very much.
Oh, it's been a pleasure, Gerard.
Yeah, it's been great talking to you, and 100 years. It's got to be 100 years before it becomes an antique.
That's it.
I've got 30 years to go.
Oh.
Thank you very much.
Good. I've enjoyed the session.